Ok les amis, salut à tous. Aujourd'hui, édito A1, méthode de français, unité 1, et vous. So today, édito level A1, unit 1. Last time, very first video, I did unit 0. Okay, so today we will see the whole unit 1. It will be way longer than last time I think, but you know, it's okay. We go little by little. Première partie, présentation. Présentation means introduction, as in you introduce yourself to someone. So when you introduce yourself to someone, je me présente à quelqu'un. Ok? Donc dans ce document audio, tu vas entendre des gens qui se présentent. Des gens, on essaie d'écouter une fois. In this document, you will hear some people introducing themselves. Alright? We listen to it at least one time. Ok?
Unité 1. Et vous? Page 20. Document A. Présentation.
Bonjour et bienvenue dans le train IDESAP Bordeaux-Paris.
Place 3. C'est ici. Bonjour, je m'appelle Oscar. Et vous?
Bonjour, je m'appelle Boris. Et voilà Julia, ma femme.
Bonjour.
Vous êtes français, Oscar?
Non, je suis suédois. Et vous?
Moi, je suis russe. Et Julia est italienne.
Oui, et j'ai 63 ans aujourd'hui.
Ah, joyeux anniversaire.
Place 4. C'est là. Bonjour.
Bonjour, madame. Je m'appelle Julia. Et voici Boris.
Bonjour, monsieur. Bonjour, madame. Moi, c'est Daniela. Et voilà Alberto.
Bonjour tout le monde.
Et toi, comment tu t'appelles?
Adelina.
Pardon? Elle s'appelle comment?
Elle s'appelle Adelina. Et elle a 8 ans.
Adelina. C'est français?
Non, c'est mexicain. Elle est mexicaine. Et nous aussi.
Okay, so I will play the audio only once. If you want to listen to it again, you can just you put the video again to listen to it. Entrée en matière. Entrée en matière means introduction. This time as in you're introducing a topic. Okay? Maybe you've seen before entrée, like when you go to the restaurant. Entrée is the starter in the restaurant, right? So here is like the starter for a topic. Here the topic is listening, understanding, listening comprehension for the part A, okay? So, first question, entrée en matière. Vous connaissez le TGV? Vous connaissez le TGV? TGV means train à grande vitesse, which means like very fast train, high speed train, basically, okay? This is the name that we give to the train, like to the fast train in France, like in many countries in Europe, basically. Different name because it's the different company. But basically, you get the idea. It's the train that you can see on the picture here. Ok. Donc, est-ce que vous connaissez le TGV? You can answer, for example, okay, I just give you an example of answer. Oui, je connais le TGV. Je suis allé en France en vacances une fois et j'ai pris le TGV pour aller de Paris à Bordeaux. Okay, this is an example. I've been to France once for holiday and I took the TGV, I took the train to go from Paris to Bordeaux, which are two cities in France. Paris, I guess you already know. Donc, première écoute. Première écoute is first listening. Les personnes sont dans le bus, dans le train, dans la voiture. Les personnes sont. The people are in the bus, in the train, in the car. Bus et train, c'est plutôt facile. It's like quite easy, I think, because bus and train, bus et train, they are the same word in French and English. Voiture is car. Donc, les personnes sont dans le train. You get it? Because we talk about the TGV. Even in the audio, you can hear the track of the train in the background. So, very easy. Les personnes sont dans le train. Elles se présentent. Elles se disent au revoir. Elles racontent un voyage. Like I said in the beginning, présentation means introduction, as in you introduce yourself. So you can guess that elle se présente has something to do with introducing yourself. And if you heard in the audio, they all say their names, their nationalities and their age. So it's basically a bunch of people meeting in the train and they talk to each other like, oh, my name is, I'm 60 years old and my wife is named, she's from Mexico, ok? Donc, elles se présentent. Elles se disent au revoir means they say bye-bye to each other, they say goodbye. Elles racontent un voyage means they are telling each other stories about traveling, like traveling stories. Donc ici, c'est elles se présentent. Deuxième écoute, which means that in a normal class, you should, like at this point, you should listen to the audio one more time to pay more attention to the detail, okay? So I'll let you go back to the audio. Associer les prénoms aux photos. Adelina, Alberto, Boris, Daniela, Julia, Oscar. So match the first name with the pictures, okay? I don't really put pauses in the video, okay? So when you want to do the exercise by yourself, which you should be doing, you just pause the video and you do it by yourself, okay? So very easy. Le premier, the first one, Oscar. Ensuite, le deuxième, c'est Boris et Julia. Le troisième, c'est Daniela et Alberto. Et la dernière, c'est Adelina. Ok? Trouver la nationalité des personnes. So find the nationality of the different people. Donc on a Adelina, Alberto, Boris, Daniela, Julia et Oscar. So I let you listen to the audio again if you need it. Donc Adelina, Alberto et Daniela sont mexicains. Tu peux aussi dire, you can also say, Adelina est mexicaine. Alberto est mexicain. Daniela est mexicaine. You can say one by one or you can group them together. Adelina, Alberto et Daniela sont mexicains. Boris est russe. Julia est italienne. Oscar est suédois. Maybe there is one thing that you heard in how I say it when I say Adelina est mexicaine. Alberto est mexicain. You should be able to hear that the two words sound a bit different, so there are two ways to say Mexican. I said Adelina est mexicaine. Alberto est mexicain. Why is it like this? Because there are two ways to say Mexican, and there are two ways to say everything, including nationalities. One is like for female, and one is for male, okay? So later we will go deeper into detail on this topic. 6. Trouver la bonne réponse. So find the right answer. Adelina a 6 ans, 8 ans ou 16 ans. Adelina a 6 ans, 8 ans, 16 ans. Donc la bonne réponse, the right answer, Adelina a 8 ans. Adelina is 8 years old. Okay? So first here, there is something that's very interesting to note. In French, we don't say I am 20 years old, for example. We say I have 20 years. It's like the age is something that you have. So here, if you were to literally translate it, it would mean Adelina have 8 years, basically. Okay? Julia a 23, 43 ou 63 ans. La bonne réponse, the right answer, la bonne réponse, Julia a 63 ans. She is 63 years old. Okay? Vocabulaire. Vocabulaire, you can guess vocabulary. Numéro 7, so 7 question. Numéro 7, associé. Oscar, Boris, Julia, Alberto, Daniela, Adelina est un homme, une femme ou un enfant. So, for each of them, are they a woman, une femme, a woman, un homme, a man, un homme, un enfant, a child. Donc, Oscar est un homme. Boris est un homme. Julia est une femme. Adelina est un enfant. You can also say Oscar, Boris et Alberto sont des hommes. Julia, Daniela et Adelina sont des femmes. Okay, so you can group them together. Instead of saying Oscar is a man, I say Oscar, Boris, Alberto are men. Okay? Et enfin, au fait, so by the way, au fait, pour présenter quelqu'un, on peut dire voici ou voilà plus le prénom. Par exemple, voici Pauline. Voici or voilà in this context is like here is ok, par exemple, voici Pauline or voilà Pauline means like here's Pauline. Tu vois, you see? Like when you introduce someone to someone else. Question numéro 8, question number 8, production orale. So oral production, something speaking. À deux, vous vous présentez. Nom, nationalité, âge. So by pair, okay, à deux means like two of you, by pair, you introduce yourselves. Name, nationality, age. Par exemple, je m'appelle Patrick, je suis anglais, j'ai 23 ans. Et vous? Okay, so for example, me, I could say, so I'm inventing, okay, I'm not saying the right stuff, but I'm inventing. Je m'appelle Thomas, je suis français, j'ai 34 ans. Et vous? Okay, so of course I cannot play this with you because, you know, I'm just recording the video. But, okay, I will say it only once. You go to my website, you can book private class, okay, and then we can do this kind of exercises during the private class together, okay. Ensuite, ici, tu as deux verbes très importants. Here you have two verbs that are really, really important, okay. So you know that there are two verbs that are really special in the language, like in English, which are to be and to have. They are not only verbs, they are also like a auxiliary, I'm not sure how to say in English. Ce sont des auxiliaires en français, ok. So the first one, avoir is to have, ok. Donc j'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. For example, j'ai 23 ans. You see here, j'ai 23 ans. Donc j'ai, I have 23 years old. I have 23 years, ok. J'ai. Si je dis nous avons un chien. Nous avons un chien. We have a dog. Un chien is a dog. Okay. Other verb, s'appeler. S'appeler. Je m'appelle. Tu t'appelles. Il s'appelle. Elle s'appelle. Nous nous appelons. Vous vous appelez. Il s'appelle. Elle s'appelle. So, I am called. You are called. He is called. We are called. You are called. They are called. Okay. It's a bit tricky to translate this verb because, as you can see, it's not only the verb appeler. There is like a S apostrophe in front of it, which makes it, for now we will just say it makes it like a special kind of verb, okay? Which is why you can see that you don't only have the je, tu, il, nous, vous, okay, that we saw last time. You don't only have this subject here. We have M apostrophe, T apostrophe, S apostrophe, nous, vous, okay? Which makes it a bit tricky sometimes to understand. What you can just remember for now is that s'appeler is the way to say when you want to mean that you are named, like this is your name, okay? For example, je m'appelle Nicolas means my name is Nicolas, okay? Literally, if you translate it, is I am called Nicolas. But the correct translation is my name is Nicolas, okay? Donc, pour demander de se présenter, pour se présenter. So to ask someone to introduce themselves or to introduce yourself. Comment vous vous appelez? Comment tu t'appelles? Je m'appelle, par exemple, je m'appelle Patrick. So, what's your name? Comment vous vous appelez? How are you called? Okay. Ou bien, comment tu t'appelles? So remember what we see last time. Comment vous vous appelez is slightly more formal, okay? Comment tu t'appelles is less formal, is like more friendly. Je m'appelle Nicolas. Je m'appelle Thomas. Je m'appelle Patrick. Vous êtes anglais? Tu es anglais? Oui. Non, je suis français. Non, je suis suédois. Okay. Vous êtes anglais? Are you English? Oui, non, yes, no. Je suis français. I am French. Vous avez quel âge? Tu as quel âge? So, how old are you? How old are you? There are both ways to say. You already know. First one is more formal. Second one is less formal. Vous avez quel âge? Tu as quel âge? J'ai 30 ans. I'm 30 years old. Donc, le vous en français, the vous in French, can have two meanings. Either you're talking to one person like you in English, but you want to be more polite, you want to be more formal, or you're talking to a bunch of different people, all together, okay? For example, when you say, vous avez quel âge? Usually you're not asking how old are you to a bunch of people all at once, right? Unless you're in a specific context where they all have the same age, but like it's very unlikely to happen. So most likely when you say to someone, vous avez quel âge? It means that you are formally, politely asking one person their age. Grammaire, les adjectifs de nationalité. So the adjectives to say the nationality, the country of someone. Échauffement, échauffement means warming up, okay? So it's just to warm up. Observez les adjectifs soulignés. Classez les adjectifs dans le tableau. So take a look to the adjectives that are underlined, okay? And put them inside the tab here. Donc, dans le tableau, on a deux colonnes. Inside the tab, we have two columns. Masculin, féminin. So male and female. Vous êtes français, Oscar? Non, je suis suédois. Moi, je suis russe et Julia est italienne. Elle est mexicaine. I let you pause to do the exercise, okay? For each of these adjectives, okay, you can conjugate, okay, in a way, you can conjugate them either to male or female, depending to who they are referring to. So here, these are only nationalities. If the person with this nationality is a male, then you will conjugate it to the male form, and if it's a female, you will conjugate it to the female form, ok? Donc ici, français, masculin. Suédois, masculin. Russe, masculin ou féminin. In this context, the guy who's speaking, you know he's a guy because you listen to the audio, but the word russe is written the same, male or female. So if you had no context, you cannot guess if it's male or female, okay? Donc russe can be both. Italienne, female. Mexicaine, female. Okay? Now, if you had to say their counterparts, for example, donc français is male, like we said. Female would be française. Suédois, féminin would be suédoise. Russe is same. Italienne, for a guy, would be italien. Et mexicaine, pour un homme, okay, for a man, would be mexicain. Les adjectifs de nationalité. Okay, we'll read it first, alright? You follow along with me. Pour former le féminin des adjectifs de nationalité, on ajoute en général un E à l'adjectif masculin. On ajoute NE aux adjectifs masculins terminés par IEN ou EEN. Les adjectifs masculins terminés par E ne changent pas. Russe, belge, slovaque, etc. Remarque, grec devient grec, so grec becomes grec. Turc becomes Turk. So these two are basically like they don't follow the general rule, basically, okay? So what it means is that basically when you use these adjectives, the nationality adjectives, to create the female version from the male version, because the male is the neutral, okay? So by default, we put it as like male form, okay? To create the female version out of this, in general, not all the time, but most of the time, we put a I at the end. Like here you can see, français devient française. Allemand devient allemande. Coréen devient coréenne. French, German, Korean, okay? On ajoute NE aux adjectifs masculins terminés par IEN ou EEN, which means that when the word ends by IEN or EEN, we add NE at the end, just like Korean here, okay? Coréen, tu vois qu'on a ajouté NE, we added NE, okay? Et les adjectifs masculins terminés par E ne changent pas. So if the word is already ends with a E, then it's not modified when it goes to female. Okay? So here, for example, for this exercise, you can do it yourself, all right? You can pause and do it yourself. Suédoise, masculin would be suédois. You remove the E. Mexicaine, the masculin, le masculin would be mexicain. Espagnol with the E would be espagnol with no E. Italien, Italien, you see it ends with I-E-N, just like we were saying here, okay? So the female will be italienne with 2 N. Russe, already end with the E, so it stays russe, all right? Écoutez les adjectifs. La prononciation est identique ou différente. So it means listen to the adjectives. The pronunciation, is it same or different? Ok? On va le faire ensemble. We do it together.
Page 21. Grammaire. Exercice 3. A.
Français.
Française.
You can hear the difference, right? Français, française. So masculin et féminin.
B.
Suédois.
Suédoise.
Suédois, suédoise.
C.
Mexicain.
Mexicaine.
Mexicain, mexicaine. Ok? Mexicain, like un. Mexicaine, N.
D.
Allemand.
Allemande.
Allemand, allemande.
E.
Espagnol.
Espagnol.
Normally here, except if you have like a 4-digit IQ, you cannot hear a difference. Like it's espagnol, even if you put a E when it becomes female, you cannot hear the difference. Espagnol, espagnol, same.
F.
Italien.
Italienne.
Italien, italienne.
G.
Coréen.
Coréenne.
Coréen, coréenne. Okay, so you can hear the difference.
Page 20.
Russe.
Ouais, russe, russe.
Russe.
Same.
Russe.
Ok. Maintenant, entraînement. Entraînement means like to practice, practicing. Ok. We finish this one. Yeah, ok. Homme ou femme. Accordez les adjectifs de nationalité si nécessaire. Homme ou femme. Man or woman. Male or female. Accordez les adjectifs de nationalité si nécessaire. So here you have a lot of nationalities. Indien, coréen, chinois, allemand, sénégalais et américain. Okay, this you can see here. These are all nationalities. By default, right here, they wrote it at the male, in the male version, so in the neutral version. You have to guess if you will need to put them into the female version or no. From elements of the sentence, you can guess. Okay, so we do it together. Elle est indien. Elle est indien. You know that elle is female, right? So you should conjugate indien in the female version. It ends in IEN, so you have to add NE at the end of indien. Correct. Donc, elle est indienne. C'est bien. B. Tu es coréen? Paula? Okay, it's a bit strange because they are asking a woman named Paula, okay, because Paula is a girl's name, if she's Korean, which is weird because I don't think there's a lot of Korean people named Paula, so it's like it's it's a bit funny sentence, but anyway, Paula, we know it's a woman, so should be coréenne, correct. Tu es coréenne, Paula? I changed it, okay? I changed it myself. I put tu es coréenne? Park Chong-ming. Ah, je rigole, I'm joking. Tu es coréenne? Tao est un garçon chinois. Garçon means a boy. Okay. So here it's a male, no need to change anything. Chinois, c'est bien. Angela est allemand. Here, Angela is a woman's name. Actually, Angela is the name of the president of Germany, Angela. if I'm not mistaken. Donc Angela est allemande. You should have to put a D at the end. I at the end, sorry. Angela est allemande. Madame Moukete est sénégalais. Here you can see Madame. We talked about this one last time, right? Madame is Miss or Mrs. Donc c'est une femme. It's a woman. Should say et sénégalaise with the I at the end. Correct. Last one, le dernier. Vous êtes américain, madame? Exactly same principle as the previous one. Donc, américaine. C'est bien. A2. A2. You remember what it means, A2? If you don't, go a bit previously in the video. A2. By pair. Un étudiant dit le nom d'un acteur, d'un chanteur ou d'un sportif, homme ou femme. Vous dites sa nationalité. So, by pair, a student says the name of an actor, a singer or an athlete, man or woman, and you say their nationality. Par exemple, Laure Manodou, elle est française. If you don't know her, she's a famous athlete, like a French athlete. She's a swimmer, okay, very famous French swimmer, okay. Donc, on va pas le faire. We're not going to do it because I'm by myself. Very important. You can learn this verb by heart. Okay. Être is to be. Je suis, I am. Tu es, il est, elle est. Nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont, elles sont. You can hear that very often when one word ends with a consonant and the next one starts with a vowel. Not 100% of the time, but like very often. We link, like orally, we link the two words together. You cannot see it in the writing, but orally we link them together. So they sound like only one word. For example, je suis really sounds like two distinguished words, right? Like je suis, okay, you can hear the two of them. But if I say elle est, there's no distinction. It almost sounds like only one word, elle est. Or vous êtes, I don't say vous êtes, I say vous êtes, like with a Z sound in the middle, okay? Also in the future there will be specific exercises about this. Ok, partie B. Qu'est-ce que vous aimez? Qu'est-ce que vous aimez? Aimer is to love or to like. Qu'est-ce que vous aimez? What do you like? So we will most likely talk about hobbies, for example, and activities. This part is a writing understanding, okay? So you have to understand what's written here. I will read it for you. Bienvenue sur le site des francophones de Londres. Sarah, 32 ans. Salut, je m'appelle Sarah. J'ai 32 ans et je suis suisse. J'aime le tennis et la natation. J'aime aussi la peinture et le cinéma, les films d'action. If you pay just a little bit attention, you can hear the tone of my voice, typically in this kind of sentences. J'aime le tennis et la natation. When you enumerate things like this, if you want to sound more French, okay, every element that you list, every element that you enumerate, the tone of your voice should go slightly up, and then the last one should go down. For example, j'aime le tennis et la natation. I could say, for example, j'aime le tennis, le football, le basket, la peinture, l'écriture et la natation. You know what I mean. Daniel, 24 ans. Bonjour les francophones de Londres. Je m'appelle Daniel et je suis canadien. Je m'appelle Daniel et je suis canadien. J'ai 24 ans. J'aime la musique et la lecture. Émilie, 28 ans. Bonjour les amis. Moi, c'est Émilie. J'ai 28 ans. Je suis française. En sport, j'aime la danse et l'athlétisme. Last word. J'aime la danse et l'athlétisme. L'athlétisme, okay? Which means track and field. So the three of them, they're introducing themselves. They both say, all of them, they say their names, their nationality. Donc Sarah, Daniel, Émilie. Suisse, Canadien, Française. Their age, 32 ans, 24 ans, 28 ans. and they say the activities that they like. J'aime aussi le tennis, la natation, la peinture, le cinéma. Tennis, swimming, painting, theater, cinéma. J'aime la musique et la lecture, music and reading. En sport, sports, I like dance and track and field. Lecture. Lecture is reading, so you just read the text that is here, okay? Sarah, Daniel et Emily sont. Okay, do you know this word here? Sont. If you remember, just before, sont is the verb to be, être, conjugated to they, okay? So, Sarah, Daniel, Emily, they are, donc ils sont. Français, francophone ou anglais? Obviously, they're not English, okay? So, is it French or francophone? I don't know how to say francophone in English. I'm not sure. Francophone means that you're not necessarily French, but you speak French. For example, Switzerland, Quebec, Senegal, those three countries, like three big countries, three famous countries, they are francophone countries because they are not French, but they speak, like people there, they speak French, okay? So the French community in the world is maybe about 70 million of people, something like this. But the francophone community is way bigger because a lot of people in the world speak French. All of them, you can see they are not French. Only Emily is French. Emily est française. Mais Sarah est suisse et Daniel est canadien. So Sarah is from Switzerland. Daniel is from Canada. Donc Sarah, Daniel et Emily sont francophones. C'est bien. Ils ont quel âge? Ils ont quel âge? Donc, ils ont, can you see here? Ils ont, we saw this earlier here, to have. Ils ont, they have, okay? Ils ont quel âge? How old are they? Sarah, Daniel, Emily. So it's a bit useless, you just have to copy what you saw here. But you can practice saying it. 32 ans. Sarah a 32 ans. Daniel a 24 ans. Emily a 28 ans. Retrouvez les loisirs préférés de Sarah, Daniel et Emily. Find the favorite hobbies of Sarah, Daniel et Emily. So I let you pause, you read this one, you're trying to find the different vocabulary. I said all of it earlier, and you find them here, okay? Donc, tennis, musique, peinture, cinéma, lecture, natation, athlétisme et danse. C'est bien. Grammaire. Les articles définis, le, la, L apostrophe, okay, L apostrophe, L apostrophe et les. So those four words, le, la, L apostrophe et les, all of they mean the in English. There are four different ways to say the, which may seem really troublesome for all of you English speakers. But you will see that it's actually very easy, okay? So we start by the exercise and then we go to the rule because apparently this is how we do nowadays. You remember what it means? Échauffement. This time I'm not telling you because I said it earlier, okay? So you watch it again if you need. Échauffement. 1. Trouvez les noms. Quels mots sont placés avant? Nom, can seem a bit tricky. Nom in French means both name or a noun, okay? In this context, obviously, it means find the nouns. Which words are placed in front of them? Par exemple, le tennis. The tennis, okay? Le tennis. Donc, A. J'aime le tennis et la natation. So here you're supposed to find tennis, natation, et les articles, les articles, they are le, la. B. J'aime le cinéma, les films d'action. Donc, le cinéma, les films d'action. J'aime la danse et l'athlétisme. La danse, l'athlétisme. L apostrophe, athlétisme. from these examples only, you can kind of guess already what's the rule, because it will be very easy. What's the rule when to use le, la, l'apostrophe, or les. Okay? So you can pause, try to think a bit about it, and then I explain the rule to you. Donc, on utilise les articles définis pour parler de quelque chose de général. You use them, le, la, les, l'apostrophe, to talk about general stuff. For me, this sentence, I would replace it by saying that in English, it's the equivalent of the, basically. It's just that in French, we use the in slightly different contexts that you do. Devant un nom qui commence par une voyelle, on utilise L apostrophe. L apostrophe. Par exemple, l'athlétisme. Okay? L'athlétisme. So, the rule is you have two kind of categories, male and female, and single or plural. Okay? Donc masculin, féminin, singulier, pluriel. When talking about more than one thing, so when you talk plural, okay, pluriel, about anything, regardless of the gender or anything, you will always use les. Always, always. Okay? So this case is like the easiest one, okay? You always use les. If there's only one thing, so then it's like the single way, and then you have three ways to say. If the thing is male, you will say le. If the thing is female, then you will say la. And if the word starts with a vowel, you will use L apostrophe. Just like athlétisme, ici, athlétisme starts with a A, so you use L apostrophe. Okay, there are some exercises later. Remarque, il y a un article devant les noms de pays. So we put this in front of the country names. Okay. Les noms de pays terminés par la lettre E sont féminins. So the countries that ends with a E usually are female. Like la France, France, la Chine, China. Sauf, except for, sauf, le Mexique, le Mozambique, le Cambodge et le Zimbabwe. Les noms de pays terminés par S sont au pluriel. So the countries who have a name ending by a S, with a S, they are plural. Like les États-Unis, the United States, les États-Unis et les Pays-Bas, which are the Netherlands in French. Some countries, they don't have the before. They don't have le or la. For example, Singapore, we don't say le Singapour ou la Singapour. We just say Singapore. Ok, entraînement, so exercise. Complétez les phrases. So fill in the sentence. So this one, I let you do. You have to fill in with le, la, or les. Ok? Let's go. J'aime escalade et boxe. Very easy. Escalade start with the E. Donc, l'escalade. Box is boxing. Okay, sorry. Escalade means rock climbing. Okay, rock climbing. Boxing is female word. So, la boxe. Julia aime basket. Basket is basketball. Okay. And it's a male word. So, Julia aime le basket. By the way, I told you before, right? Aime means to love or to like. So, j'aime, I like rock climbing and boxing. Julia aime le basket. Julia likes basketball. Tu aimes la France. Okay, we saw this earlier. La France. Do you like France? J'aime, you can see here, there's a capital letter, so it's most likely a country name. And there's a S at the end. So it will be les Comores. J'aime les Comores, le Brésil et la Chine. C'est bon? Nickel. Production écrite. Vous vous présentez sur le site des francophones de Londres. Écrivez la fiche. So this one is an exercise, writing exercise to do. You're supposed to write like a small text like this, as if you were introducing yourself on the same website, but with your own information, okay? So if you take a private class with me, this is the kind of homework that we do together. Maintenant, un peu de vocabulaire. Les personnes, les loisirs, les nombres. So, people, hobbies and numbers. Premièrement, les personnes. La femme, la fille, l'homme, le garçon. Woman, girl, man, boy. Les loisirs. L'athlétisme, le cinéma, la danse, la lecture, la musique, la natation, la peinture, le tennis. We said the meaning of all of them earlier, right? Track and field, cinema, dance, reading, music, swimming, painting and tennis. Complétez les phrases. I told you this one earlier, so I shouldn't have to tell you again. So one last time. Compléter les phrases is fill in the sentences. Okay? Phrase is very important in this kind of textbook. Means sentence. J'aime le cinéma. Il aime le tennis. Tu aimes la lecture? Elle aime la natation. Tu aimes l'athlétisme? J'aime la peinture. C'est bien. Maintenant, les nombres de 32 à 69. Les nombres de 1 à 31, on les a vus la dernière fois. So numbers from 1 to 31, we saw them last time. Maintenant, 32 à 69. 32 to 69. Let's go.
Page 23. Vocabulaire. Les nombres de 32 à 69.
32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69.
C'est bien. Écoutez et trouvez les nombres entendus. So listen and find the numbers that you heard. Okay? Premièrement, on va lire cela ensemble. We're going to read these ones. Okay? So you can pause the video as I read and you say them before me. Okay? So I will go from left to right. 13, 32, 50, 62, 6, 23, 39, 57, 16, 26, 43, 64. We're going to modify the exercise a bit. So, for each word that they will say in the audio, you will just, like, even if the number doesn't appear on the tab, we will still write it, okay? You still write it. So you do this at home.
Page 23. Vocabulaire. Exercice 2.
13,
13 is this one. C'est bien.
62,
62 is this one. C'est bien.
57,
57, celui-là.
16.
16, c'est celui-là.
43,
43, c'est celui-ci. Ok, c'est tout. So just forget what I said earlier. I didn't understand the exercise myself. Ok. Ils ont quel âge? Lisez les dates de naissance et écrivez en lettres les âges des célébrités. So, read the date of birth of these celebrities and write in letters the age of the celebrities, okay? So we focus more about French than math, all right? So I will not like review the calculus. I have written here the age of the people, okay? So you can do the correction with this information already. And we're going to write them with all the letters, all right? C'est parti. Donc, Nathalie Portman, 42 ans. Catherine Pancol, 68 ans. Michel Yao, je suis pas sûr de la prononciation, I'm not sure about the pronunciation. 63 ans. Youssou N'Dour, 63 ans. Ah non, je me suis trompé, pardon. Bon, c'est pas grave. Michel Yao, 61 ans. 61 ans. Youssou N'Dour, 63 ans. Teddy Riner, 34 ans. Et Javier Bardem, 54 ans. For those of you who know him, I always liked Javier Bardem's voice. I think he has a very deep voice that I think is nice.
Is there something wrong with anything?
Production orale. So this is a speaking exercise. Production orale. Faites une liste de personnes célèbres à deux. Vous dites un nom et vous imaginez l'âge de la personne. Faites une liste de personnes célèbres. So make a list of famous people and by pair, you say a name and you try to guess the age of the person. Donc ça, on va pas le faire. Partie C, Anna, Francesco, Adriana et Noé. Cette fois, c'est une compréhension vidéo, donc on va commencer par regarder la vidéo et après on répond aux questions. This one is a video understanding, so first we watch the video. I will let you, you can watch it as many times as you want, then we answer the questions.
Olá, bonjour.
Buongiorno, bonjour.
Que hubo? Bonjour.
Hola, bonjour. Bonjour, je m'appelle Noé, je suis espagnol, j'ai 37 ans et je suis pilote d'avion.
Coucou, je m'appelle Anna, je suis avocate, j'ai 28 ans et je suis brésilienne.
Bonjour à tous, je m'appelle Francesco, j'ai 34 ans, je suis architecte et mon pays c'est l'Italie.
Salut, moi c'est Adriana, je suis colombienne, j'ai 31 ans et mon métier c'est médecin.
Donc, compréhension audiovisuelle. So, video comprehension basically. Premier visionnage means that normally you're supposed to watch the video once, then answer these questions, and then you will watch it a second time, you answer the other questions. Donc, vrai ou faux? True or false? Ils sont français. Ils parlent français. So, they are French, they speak French. Donc, ils sont français, c'est faux. C'est faux. Ils sont pas français, they are not French. Mais B, ils parlent français, c'est vrai. They speak French, all of them. 2. Les informations données sont. So the information that we have are. The informations given are. La date, le prénom, le nom, la nationalité, l'âge, la profession. So if there's any confusion, prénom is first name, nom is last name. Et profession is the job that they do. Okay? Donc, les informations données sont le prénom, donc Anna, Francesco, comme il dit, Adriana et Noé. La date, on la connaît pas, we don't have it. Le nom, we don't know, on l'a pas. La nationalité, on connaît. Colombien, espagnol, italien, brésilien. L'âge, ils le disent, they say it. Et la profession, on l'a. The job, we know their job. Donc, les informations données sont le prénom, la nationalité, l'âge et la profession. Deuxième visionnage. So from this point, you're supposed to watch the video a second time. If you need to watch it 10 times to be able to answer the question, then just watch it 10 times. It's also okay. Complétez les phrases. You know what it means already. Complétez les phrases. I will just answer the question straight. Okay? I have written the answer. Noé a 37 ans. Anna a 28 ans. Francesco a 34 ans. Adriana a 31 ans. Ok? On est bon? Donc, Noé a 37 ans. I let you write them with the letters also. Noé a 37 ans. Anna a 28 ans. Francesco a 34 ans. Et Adriana a 31 ans. On est bon. Maintenant, qui est colombien, qui est espagnol, qui est italien et qui est brésilien? Donc, je vais répondre directement. I will answer straight away. Adriana est colombienne. Pas colombien. She's not Colombian. She's a colombienne because she's a woman. Donc, colombienne. Noé est espagnol. Francesco est italien. Et Anna est brésilienne. D'ailleurs, dans la vidéo, j'aime bien le regard que fait Anna à la fin de son passage. I like the look that Anna gives when she ends her small bit, like she's like this. Vocabulary. Associer une profession à une photo. Avocat, architecte, médecin, pilote. Okay? So these are the 4 jobs that they do. I think these words are really easy to understand if you already speak English. Donc, pilote, pilot. Médecin is a doctor, is a physician. Avocat is a lawyer. Et architecte is an architect. Ok? Retrouvez la profession d'Adriana, Anna, Francesco et Noé. Donc, Noé est pilote, Anna est avocate, Francesco est architecte et Adriana est médecin. C'est bien. Phonétique. Prononcer une phrase simple. So, how to pronounce a simple sentence. Ok? Échauffement. You already know what it means. Échauffement. Écoutez et observez la phrase. Est-ce qu'il y a une pause entre les mots? So, listen to the sentence, pay close attention, okay? And tell me if there's a break, like a small break, in between the words.
Page 24. Phonétique. Prononcer une phrase simple. Exercice 1.
Je m'appelle Francesco.
Donc oui, yes, you can hear there's a small break, right? Je m'appelle Francesco. Ok. Choisissez la bonne réponse. Pick the right answer. Quand je prononce une phrase, je fais une pause entre les mots. Quand je prononce une phrase, je ne fais pas de pause entre les mots. So, do you make a break or do you don't make a break when, like in between words, when you say a sentence? The right answer is yes, you make a small break. Because of course, depending on the context, some French people, they might seem like they speak very, very fast and they kind of blabber their words, you know, like you cannot really distinguish them. But you, as a learner, of course, you make some small breaks in between words. It's normal. Donc, la bonne réponse, c'est quand je prononce une phrase, je fais une pause entre les mots. Entraînement, training, entraînement. Écoutez et répétez les phrases. Listen and repeat the sentences. You can pause the video. I will just let the audio, okay? You pause the video and you repeat them for yourself.
Page 24. Exercice 3. A.
Je m'appelle Sarah.
B.
Je suis sénégalais.
C. J'ai 28 ans. D.
J'aime la peinture.
You can practice repeating these sentences. Tu peux t'entraîner à répéter ces phrases. 4. Compléter la fiche. So fill in the form. Je m'appelle, je suis, j'ai en. Very simple, right? So you can do this by yourself. Prenez la fiche de votre voisin et dites les informations. So you're supposed to take the small form of the person sitting next to you in class, and you can read out loud their informations, but right now we cannot do this, obviously. Partie D, vive les artistes francophones. Vive les artistes francophones. Artist is an artist, right? Francophone, I just told you what it means, so it's someone who can speak French. Vive les artistes francophones. If you were to translate it literally, vive someone, vive something, is something like long life to the francophone artists, or long live the king, these kind of things. Of course, it doesn't really translate here, so a way to think about it is that it kind of pays a tribute to artists who can speak French, okay? So it's a listening part again. I will play it. You can play it again at home if you want.
Page 25. Document D. Vive les artistes francophones. A.
Elle s'appelle Mariam Doumbia. Elle est chanteuse et elle est malienne. Avec Amadou, ils sont Amadou et Mariam. Un disque d'Amadou et Mariam, dimanche à Bamako.
B.
Charline Vanhoenacker est journaliste. Elle est belge. L'émission de Charline s'appelle « Si tu écoutes, j'annule tout ».
C. Il s'appelle Xavier Dolan. Il est québécois. Il est acteur et réalisateur. Le film de Xavier, c'est Mommy. Le film est en français. D.
Tahar Benjeloun est marocain. Il est écrivain. Moi, j'aime le livre La Nuit Sacrée.
Okay, so the audio talks about 4 people, 4 artists. Okay, they are famous for different jobs that they do. They are artists, in different categories. Okay, some of them are more famous than others. I think Xavier Dolan and Amadou must be like the 2 most famous, and the 2 others are a bit less famous, basically. And they are from 4 different countries. None of them is technically French, so they do this to kind of pay a tribute to the artists that are not French, but who can speak French, and who either sing or make movies or do shows, for example, or write in French. Okay? Première question. Associer les noms aux photos. Donc ici on a les 4 noms. We have the 4 names. Okay? Donc Tahar Benjeloun, Xavier Dolan, Mariam Doumbia et Charline Vanhoenacker. If you cannot pronounce these names correctly, it's still kind of okay, because the last names, like, don't worry about the last names, because the last names, of course, because they are not French, so they don't have French last name, okay? So it's not so relevant, the pronunciation here. Ok. Pour correspondre les noms aux photos, to match the name with the pictures, donc Tahar Benjeloun, c'est la photo A, ok, le premier. Xavier Dolan, c'est la photo D. Mariam Doumbia, c'est la photo B. Et Charline, c'est la photo C. Ok? Au fait, by the way, Xavier Dolan parle français. Le film est en français. Donc Xavier Dolan parle français. He speaks French. Il parle français. Le film est en français. The movie is in French. So he's a movie director, as you can guess. Deuxième écoute. So to answer this question, you're supposed to listen to the audio again. Okay, I'll let you do it yourself. Qui est belge? Qui est malien? Qui est marocain? Qui est québécois? Malien, malienne. Marocain, marocaine. Québécois, québécoise. So this is a question about their nationality. You're supposed to match everyone to their nationality. And since you don't know yet who is who, they put, like NE or E into parentheses to show that it can be either the male version or the female version of the word, okay? Of the word. Donc, qui est belge? C'est Charline. Charline est belge. Qui est malien? c'est Amadou. Non, pardon, c'est Mariam. Mariam est malienne. Okay? She's a woman. C'est une femme, donc Mariam est malienne. Tahar Ben Jelloun est marocain. Il est marocain. Et Xavier Dolan est québécois. Il est québécois. Ensuite, qui est acteur, chanteuse, écrivain et journaliste. Donc, acteur is an actor, chanteuse is a singer, écrivain is a writer, journaliste is a newscaster, basically. Here is like someone who does like a radio host for like news, basically. Donc, Xavier Dolan est acteur. Oh yeah, I said it. He directs movie because he does both. He's an actor and director. Donc, Xavier Dolan est acteur. Mariam est chanteuse. Okay. Tahar Ben Jelloun est écrivain. Et Charline est journaliste. Okay. Associer les titres et les personnes. So, these are the names of different pieces of art, in a way, different work that they did, okay, each of them, and you're supposed to match it with the person who did them, okay. Donc, le dimanche à Bamako, c'est une chanson de Mariam, ok. C'est une chanson, it's a song, c'est une chanson de Mariam. La nuit sacrée, c'est un livre, it's a book, c'est un livre de Tahar Ben Jelloun. Mommy, so here the name is in English actually. Mommy, if it was in French you would say maman, okay? Maman is mommy in French. Mommy, c'est le film, it's the movie, c'est le film de Xavier Dolan. Et si tu écoutes J'annule tout, c'est l'émission, it's like the show, c'est l'émission de Charline. Ok? Si tu écoutes J'annule tout, literally means if you listen, I cancel everything. Dernière question, vocabulaire. Complétez les phrases avec les mots disque, émission, film et livre. Donc disque is a disc, alright, it's like music. Émission is a show, ok. Si tu écoutes J'annule tout, c'est une émission de Charline, ok, it's a show. Film is a movie, a film. Et livre is a book. Donc, tu aimes les avec Marion Cotillard. Maybe you know or maybe you don't. Marion Cotillard, she's an actress, so you can guess it's film, ok? Tu aimes les films avec Marion Cotillard? Do you like movies? Tu aimes, ok? Do you like movies with Marion Cotillard? B. Les de Stromae sont en français. Les de Stromae sont en français. Donc Stromae is an artist name, okay? It's not a real word. It's not even a first name or a last name, okay? It's just like a stage name, basically. And he's a famous singer. He's, if I'm not mistaken, he's not French, he's Belgian, from Belgium, but he sings in French. Donc les disques, ok, les disques de Stromae sont en français. J'aime les de Victor Hugo. J'aime les de Victor Hugo. Donc Victor Hugo, he's French, very very famous writer, okay? So j'aime les livres de Victor Hugo. I like Victor Hugo's books. À la radio, j'aime les de musique. À la radio, donc radio is the radio. At the radio, like when listening to the radio, I like, du coup, les émissions de musique. So, shows about music. À la radio, j'aime les émissions de musique. Production orale. Est-ce que vous connaissez des célébrités francophones? Quelle est leur nationalité? Par exemple, Diane Kruger, elle est allemande. So here you're supposed to say famous people that you know that speak French and you say their nationality. Okay? So this you can do at home if you want and you can check the answer by yourself. Francophonie. So here are two small information about francophonie and artists who can speak French. Au Canada, au Mali et en Belgique, le français est une langue officielle, une langue nationale. À l'OIF, l'Organisation internationale de la francophonie, il y a plus de 50 pays francophones. En 2014, 274 millions de personnes parlent français. Chaque année, 49 millions de personnes apprennent le français comme langue étrangère, comme vous. Donc, au Canada, au Mali et en Belgique, in Canada, Mali or Belgium, le français est une langue officielle. In this country, French is an official language. Okay, I think it's very easy to understand this sentence. A national language, actually. L'OIF, l'Organisation internationale de la francophonie, it's like International Organization of Francophonie, so people who speak French. According to them, il y a plus de 50 pays francophones. There are more than 50 countries in the world who speak French. En 2014, in 2014, 274 millions de personnes parlent français. So this number of people, 274 millions of people speak French. Chaque année, every year, chaque année, 49 millions de personnes apprennent le français comme langue étrangère. Every year, 49 million of people, they learn French as a foreign language, comme vous, just like you. Okay. Et maintenant, le cliché. Remember last time I told you what it means. Le cliché. Les Français parlent français. Les Français ne sont pas les champions des langues étrangères. Et quand ils parlent anglais, espagnol, allemand, ils ont souvent un accent français. Et chez vous? Donc, les Français ne sont pas les champions des langues étrangères. French people, they are not the best at speaking foreign languages, which is true actually. They may be the worst in Europe actually. Maybe just in front Spanish people, but not so much. Et quand ils parlent anglais, espagnol, allemand, ils ont souvent un accent français. So when they speak English, Spanish, German, etc., they often have a French accent, which is true, I think, for everyone who has worked in an international environment, for example, with French people who speak English or any other language, just like me. I mean, you can hear that they all have French accent, it's normal. Et chez vous, in your place, in your country, in your home, anywhere where you live. Okay, so this is the kind of thing that you, I guess, when you have a real class with a real teacher, you do this at the end of the class. Okay, you ask this question, and then the student, they can talk together about this and compare with the teacher. Partie E. Vous êtes volontaire? Vous êtes volontaire? So this one is a new writing exercise. Volontaire means a volunteer. So are you a volunteer? Entrer en matière. Remember last time I told you already what it means. Entrer en matière, like the starter. You start the topic. Observer l'affiche. Observer is like taking a look at, watching something. Observer l'affiche, the poster. Le volontariat international de la francophonie. J'ai 21, 22, 23, 34 ans. Je suis francophone. J'aime travailler à l'étranger. Je suis volontaire international de la francophonie. Okay, here, to be honest, I think this part is a bit strange. It's very, very short. Okay, only one question here and one question here. That's it. So what you're supposed to understand from this poster is that the small text here, donc j'ai 21, 22, 23, 34 ans, these are information about who can be officially a volunteer to the like a international volunteer of francophonie. Okay? Donc, entrée en matière. Vous connaissez le volontariat international de la francophonie, VIF. So do you know what it is? Okay, this one I don't answer. À votre avis, ils ont quel âge? Ils sont français? So according to you, how old are they and are they French? I guess you could say, I mean, it's a bit of a strange question to me. This whole part is very strange to me. I don't see the point of guessing their age and guessing if they are French or no. But you can guess that they are not French because if it's to be a volunteer, like international volunteer of francophonie, you can guess these are people who speak French but are not technically French. Lecture. Reading. Lecture. Qui est volontaire international de la francophonie? Qui est volontaire international de la francophonie? In this question, there's something interesting to note. So the question is, who is an international volunteer of francophonie? Who is, okay? There's something that is interesting to note. Who, in French, is qui. So it's like the question word here at the beginning of the sentence. You will see that in French, maybe just like in English, when you ask a question, usually the tone goes up at the end of the sentence. For example, if I say, tu as quel âge? How old are you? Tu as quel âge? You can hear at the end of the sentence, the tone goes up. But when you ask a question that has a question word at the beginning, just like here, it's the opposite and the tone goes down. Like I say, qui est volontaire international de la francophonie? Okay? And this is the case because there's an interrogation word at the beginning of the sentence. You know, these small bits, they're important to work to sound more like natural French people. Donc, on a 4 personnes, we have 4 people, Léonie, Marc, Simon et Cathy, and this is what they say. Léonie, je parle français, j'ai 28 ans. Marc, j'ai 40 ans. Simon, je suis belge et j'ai 30 ans. Cathy, j'ai 16 ans. Je suis haïtienne. I don't have to translate it, okay? They all say their age and the language that they speak or their nationality, except for Mark, who doesn't say where he comes from. I think you're supposed to guess that from this poster, if you are between 21 and 34 years old, okay? Si tu as entre 21 et 34 ans, if je suis francophone, so if you speak French, et si tu aimes travailler à l'étranger, if you like to work in a foreign country, then you are a volunteer. So from this, I can guess that you can say, okay, so Léonie est volontaire internationale de la francophonie parce qu'elle parle français et elle a 28 ans. She is volunteer because she speaks French and she's 28 years old. Honestly, the exercise is not so interesting, I think. So we have read the sentences, practice saying them at home. You should be able to understand everything here from what we saw earlier, okay? So I move on. Partie F. Rencontre de volontaires. Rencontre de volontaires. So rencontre, meeting, de volontaires. So it's like a volunteer meeting, okay? There's a quote here. Il y a une citation. J'habite au Niger. Et vous? So I live, j'habite, I live in Niger. Et vous? And you? Okay. Première écoute, first listening, you will have to say what are they doing, okay? Que font les volontaires? Que font les volontaires? What are the volunteers doing? We'll listen to it once and then you will listen to it a second time.
Page 26. Document F. Rencontre de volontaires. Dialogue 1.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Simon. Je suis belge. Comment vous vous appelez?
Léonie. J'habite aux Comores. Je viens de Moroni. Et vous?
J'habite en Belgique.
Dialogue 2.
Bonjour, moi c'est Peter.
Bonjour Peter. Vous êtes Canadien?
Oui, j'habite à Toronto, mais je suis né à Paris. Et vous?
Moi, c'est Abel. Je vis à Madrid.
Vous parlez espagnol?
Oui, je parle espagnol et français.
Dialogue 3.
Bonjour, moi c'est Maria. J'habite au Niger. Je viens de Dossa.
Bonjour Maria. Moi je m'appelle Lien. J'habite à Hanoï, au Vietnam.
Je suis née au Vietnam.
Ah bon?
Oui, maintenant je vis à Niamey.
Vous parlez vietnamien?
Non, je parle français, anglais et chinois. Et vous?
Moi je parle vietnamien, espagnol et français bien sûr.
Donc, que font les volontaires? What are the volunteers doing? I think it's very easy. There is not one single good answer, mais tu peux dire quelque chose du genre, you can say something like, les volontaires se présentent, ils parlent de l'endroit où ils habitent et des langues qu'ils savent parler. Okay, so the volunteers, they are introducing themselves to each other and they are talking about where they live and what language they can speak. Okay. Complétez le tableau. Fill in the tab. It's a bit difficult, so you may have to listen to it a second time. Actually, you're supposed to listen to it a second time. You may have to listen to it 3, 4, 5 times if you need, so you can just replay it again, okay? Donc, pour chaque personne, for each person, Simon, Léonie, Peter, Abel, Maria et Lien, on va dire sa ville ou son pays et son lieu de naissance. So we will say their city or country, ville ou pays, city or country, et lieu de naissance, where they are born, ok? Donc, je vais répondre directement. I will answer directly. If you don't know where it comes from, you just listen to the audio again, ok? Donc, Simon, il vient de Belgique. Belgium. Ok. Simon, Belgique. Léonie, des Comores. Comores. Ce sont des îles. These are islands. Ok. Peter, Toronto. Abel, Madrid, in Spain, en Espagne. Maria, elle vit au Niger. Et Lien, elle vit à Hanoï. Et pour le lieu de naissance, son lieu de naissance is where they are born. Okay. Peter est né à Paris. He is born in Paris. Peter est né à Paris. I will write it completely, okay? Peter est né à Paris. Et Maria est née au Vietnam. Est née au Vietnam. You can say like this, Maria est née au Vietnam. Maria is born in Vietnam. Or, Maria vient du Vietnam. She comes from Vietnam. Ok? C'est bien. Question numéro 3. Question numéro 3. Complétez les badges d'Abel, Maria et Lien. Complétez les badges d'Abel, Maria et Lien. So you're supposed to fill in the small name tag of Maria, Abel et Lien with their first name and the languages that they can speak. So actually the question is, what language can these people speak? Abel parle espagnol et français. Abel parle espagnol et français. He speaks Spanish and French. Maria parle français, anglais et chinois. Elle parle anglais, français et chinois. French, English and Chinese. Lien parle vietnamien, espagnol et français. Ok, Lien parle vietnamien, espagnol et français. Production écrite. So, writing exercise for the DELF exam. Ok, DELF exam. Vous assistez à la réunion des volontaires internationaux. Complétez la fiche de renseignement. 30 à 40 mots. Donc, you are taking part in the meeting of the international volunteers. Fill in the information form, basically, which is here. Donc, nom, prénom, pays et ville, country and city, pays et ville, lieu de naissance, place of birth, et langue parlée. What languages do you speak? Okay. Donc, vous êtes censé remplir ça. You are supposed to fill this in. Okay, so we cannot do the exercise together, but you can do it at home. Pour donner des informations personnelles. So to give personal information. J'habite aux Comores. Je vis à Mexico. Je viens de Moroni. Je suis né à Toronto. J'habite aux Comores. J'habite aux Comores. I live in... Par exemple, j'habite en France. I live in France. Je vis à Mexico. Same translation. Je vis à Mexico. I live in Mexico. Habiter, literally, is like to live in, as in a place like a house. You can say, j'habite dans une maison, dans un appartement. I live in a house, in an apartment. Je vis is more bigger scale. It's like, je vis à Mexico. Je vis en France. I live in France. I live in Mexico. But it's not fixed. You can use both in both contexts. Okay? So it's same. Je viens de Moroni. Je viens de is I am from this place. Par exemple, je viens de Chine. I am from China. Je suis né à Toronto. This one really easy. Je suis né, I am born in Toronto. Or, par exemple, je suis né en Thaïlande. I am born in Thailand. Pour dire les langues parlées. So to say the languages that you speak. Je parle, and then you can say the language. Donc, je parle français, anglais, espagnol, par exemple. Okay, so I speak French, English, Spanish, etc. Et pour demander, to ask, for example, quelle langue est-ce que tu parles? Quelle langue est-ce que tu parles? What language do you speak? Or if you want to ask about a specific language, for example, tu parles chinois? Tu parles vietnamien? So do you speak Chinese? Do you speak Vietnamese? Ok. Grammaire. Les prépositions devant les noms de villes et de pays. Les prépositions devant les noms de villes et de pays. So you may have noticed until now that when we say the name of a city, of a country, there are always some words before. Okay, what we say like les prépositions. Kind of similar to le, la, les that we saw before, okay? So how do you know which one to use? Échauffement, okay? I don't have to tell you what it means. Échauffement. Trouvez les noms de villes et de pays dans les phrases. Quels mots sont placés avant? Trouvez les noms de villes et de pays dans les phrases. So find the name of cities and countries in the sentences. Quels mots sont placés avant? What words are placed in front of them? Par exemple, j'habite à Paris. J'habite à Paris means I live in Paris. Paris is the name of the city, and so à is the préposition, okay? C'est la préposition. Alors, j'habite en Belgique. Je vis à Madrid. Je suis né au Vietnam. J'habite aux Comores. Okay? So I think it's extremely easy. J'habite en Belgique. I live in Belgium. The word is en. Je vis à Madrid. The city is Madrid. The word is à. Je suis né au Vietnam. Le pays, c'est le Vietnam. Le pays, the country, c'est le Vietnam. Et la préposition, c'est au. J'habite aux Comores. Le pays, c'est les Comores. Et la préposition, c'est au avec un X. C'est au with a X. Okay? Donc ici, tu peux voir les 4 différentes prépositions. Here you can see the 4 different prepositions. En, à, au et au avec un X. Okay? Donc la règle. Avec les verbes j'habite, je vis, je suis né, on utilise. So when you use the verbs j'habite, I live, je vis, I live, je suis né, I am born, you use. Okay. À, avec un accent, donc à with an accent, devant un nom de ville. Par exemple, à Toulouse. Au, devant un nom de pays au masculin. Par exemple, au Sénégal. En, devant un nom de pays au féminin ou commençant par une voyelle. Par exemple, en Roumanie, en Angola. Au avec un X, devant un nom de pays au pluriel. Par exemple, aux Pays-Bas. Donc, O avec un X, O with a X. Okay? So, you will use A with an accent in front the name of a city. Okay? Par exemple, Madrid. Donc, A, Madrid. Tu vas utiliser O, you will use O, A, U, devant un nom de pays au masculin. So, in front of the name of a country, that is a male word. Okay? The name of the country is a male word. Par exemple, Vietnam. Donc tu vas dire je vis au Vietnam. Because Vietnam is a male word. En, devant un nom de pays au féminin ou commençant par une voyelle. So if the name of the country is female or start with a vowel, you will use en. Par exemple, en Roumanie, en Angola, or Belgium is a female word, ok? La Belgique. Donc tu vas dire je suis né en Belgique, okay? Because it's a female word. Et au avec un X devant un nom de pays au pluriel. Like I told you before, some countries they are like plural, they have a name or plural, like the United States, les États-Unis, or the Netherlands, les Pays-Bas. Then you will use O with a X, okay? On passe à l'exercice. We do the exercise. Donc entraînement, complété avec A, O, en ou O avec un X, okay? If you have any doubt, you just read the part just before again, this one, okay? So I go straight to the correction. J'habite au Pérou, à Lima. Donc au Pérou, because Peru is the name of a country, which is a male word, okay? Et Lima is a city. Donc au Pérou, à Lima. Je suis né à Amsterdam, aux Pays-Bas. À Amsterdam, because Amsterdam is a city, so you put A. And aux Pays-Bas, O avec un X, because Pays-Bas is a plural name, just like we saw here in the example, okay? Vous habitez à Toronto. Vous habitez à Toronto. Donc A avec un accent, A with an accent like this, because Toronto is a city. Tu vis en Uruguay. Tu vis en Uruguay, because Uruguay starts with a vowel, okay? Tu es né en Italie. Tu es né en Italie. Are you born in Italy? Same. Italy starts with a vowel, so you put en. Et le dernier, the last one, j'habite au Brésil. Brazil is a country. Brazil. And start with a consonant, so you put O like this, okay? Then, production orale. avec la fiche de l'activité 4 ci-dessus, vous vous présentez. So you're supposed to introduce yourself again and again. It's a speaking exercise. We cannot do it here. Okay. Partie G. On reste en contact. On reste en contact, which means literally we keep in touch. Okay. So you will hear in the audio. It's once again a hearing, like listening exercise. It seems like out of the people introducing themselves in the previous parts, 2 of them kind of matched together. So now they are exchanging phone number to keep in touch.
Page 28.
Okay. Première écoute, you listen to it one time, then we reply to this question, then you listen to it again, and we answer this question below, okay?
Document G. On reste en contact?
Au fait, Abel, c'est quoi ton numéro?
Alors, c'est le 06 21 75 84 32.
06 21 75 84 32. Super, merci. C'est un portable français?
Oui, mon numéro de fixe en Espagne, c'est plus 34, c'est l'indicatif pour l'Espagne, 33 98 92 34.
Ah oui, tu es espagnol.
Non, je ne suis pas espagnol. J'habite à Madrid. Et toi, quel est ton numéro?
Moi, je n'aime pas les téléphones portables. J'ai un fixe. Mon numéro, c'est le 01 45 79 82 58.
Attends, 01 45...
79 82 58. Tu as mon adresse mail?
Non.
Alors, c'est Maria, M-A-R-I-A, point, Rossi, R-O-2-S-I, arrobase volontaire, V-O-L-O-N-T-A-I-R-E, point, org, O-R-G. Et toi?
Mon mail, c'est Abel, A-B-E-L, Pérez, P-E-R-E-Z, @volontaire.org.
Ok, merci. Bon, eh bien, au revoir, Abel. À bientôt au téléphone ou par mail.
Oui, à bientôt, Maria.
I think if someone in real life spells their email address so slow, I think they're a bit crazy, especially when they can obviously both speak French so easily. But they spell it so slowly so you can understand, right? Donc, qui parle? Qui parle? Who is talking? Maria et Abel. 2 volontaires, right? 2 volunteers, Maria et Abel. Ils échangent des informations personnelles, des numéros de téléphone, des adresses email. Ils échangent, they are like swapping, not swapping, like exchanging, they are sharing, okay, they are sharing. Personal information, phone numbers or email address. I think these 3 ABC are very easy to understand. Plusieurs réponses, here means there are more than one answer possible, okay? Plusieurs réponses. En fait, ils échangent les 3. They're exchanging the 3, right? 3 of them. Ils échangent des numéros de téléphone. They are exchanging phone number, obviously. Ils échangent des adresses email. They are exchanging email address. Et ils échangent des informations personnelles. They are exchanging personal information because phone number is a personal information, right? Okay. Maintenant, tu peux écouter à nouveau. Can listen to it again. And then we fill the phone numbers of Maria et Abel here. Small explanation. So in France, every phone number is 10 digits, and we always read them by pair, like 2 numbers by 2. Okay, always. And when they say téléphone portable et téléphone fixe, it means like the cell phone and the landline. Because in the past, I think the book is slightly old. In the past, people, they used to have like a fixed telephone at home, like a landline at home, that you can call, okay? Donc, les numéros de téléphone ici. Maria, elle n'a pas de téléphone portable. She doesn't have a cell phone. Elle n'a pas de téléphone portable. Abel, c'est le 06 21 75 84 32. Et ensuite, leur téléphone fixe. Donc, le téléphone fixe de Maria, c'est le 01 45 79 82 58. Et Abel, why is there a plus 34? Okay, because I think you're familiar with this, right? You put plus and the number of the country, like the country code, when it's not a local number of your own country. Abel lives in Madrid, in Spain, so he shares his Spanish phone number. Donc, plus 34, 33, 98, 92, 34. Okay. Whenever you spell a phone number to someone, you will always spell it by 2-digit numbers, always. Et maintenant, écrivez les adresses mail de Maria et Abel. So write the email address, okay. Donc, j'ai mis la réponse ici. I have put the answer here, okay. Very easy, you can just listen to it again. Very easy to understand. Au fait, by the way, donc, this logo here, we call it arrobase, okay. The name is arrobase. A dot is a point. We say un point. C'est pour ça que Maria, quand elle lit son adresse email, this is why Maria, when she reads her email address, she says maria.rossi @volontaire.org. Okay. And the dash we call tiré. Okay. Maintenant, vocabulaire associé, so match together, l'indicatif du pays, le numéro de téléphone et l'adresse mail. I think it's very easy, right? Adresse mail, obviously, is number 2. Le numéro de téléphone, obviously, is this one. Okay, you can practice reading this one with me, okay? So you say it first and then I will say it and you see if you're correct. Okay? 02 35 67 32 00. Et celui-là, isabelle@edito.fr. Et l'indicatif du pays, so this one is the country code. We call country code. Plus 33. C'est bien. Production orale. À 2, by pair, à 2, vous échangez vos coordonnées. Téléphone, portable et fixe, et adresse email. I think this one is a nice exercise because then if you're in the class, you can really exchange your phone. I mean, it leads to really sharing your phone number and your email to the person sitting next to you. So, if they're cute and everything, you can use the exercise as a way to get there. Okay, anyway. Pour demander et donner des coordonnées. To ask and give coordonnées, so like the email address, the phone number, these kind of things, like calling information and joining information. Quel est ton numéro? Quel est ton numéro? What is your phone number? Ton numéro, c'est quoi? Ton numéro, c'est quoi? What is your phone number? If you literally translate it, it will be what is your phone number? Or your phone number is what? Mon numéro, c'est le. Mon numéro, c'est le. My phone number is the. Tu as mon adresse email? Tu as mon adresse mail? Do you have my email address? Ton adresse mail, c'est quoi? Ton adresse mail, c'est quoi? What's your email address? Mon adresse mail, c'est... My email address is... Grammaire. La négation. La négation. So, sentences in the negative form. Échauffement. Observez les phrases. Retrouvez les deux mots de la négation dans la phrase B. Observez les phrases. Take a look at the sentences. Retrouvez les deux mots de la négation dans la phrase B. Find the two words that are like, the symbol of negative in sentence B. A. Je suis italien. B. Je ne suis pas italien. Obviously, ne pas are the two words, okay, that are making the sentence negative. Donc, je suis italien. I am Italian. Je ne suis pas italien. I am not Italian. Ok? Donc, pour faire une phrase négative, to build a negative sentence, on utilise ne plus verbe plus pas. Ok? Pas, like you can see here. P-A-S. The verb here is suis, ok? Je suis, c'est le verbe être, is the verb être, to be, ok? Je suis, I am. Donc, je ne suis pas italien. I am not Italian. Devant une voyelle ou un H, ne devient N apostrophe. So if the verb starts with a vowel or a H, then it becomes N apostrophe. Par exemple, j'aime les téléphones portables. J'aime les téléphones portables is I like cell phones, right? Je n'aime pas les téléphones portables. Je n'aime pas, actually, je ne aime pas les téléphones portables. But because M starts with a vowel, then you put it like this. Je n'aime pas les téléphones portables. Donc, premier exercice. Mettez les éléments de la phrase dans l'ordre. You put this word in the right order to make the sentence. Okay? Et le deuxième exercice, transformez les phrases à la forme négative. Par exemple, j'habite à Paris, je n'habite pas à Paris. So what you have to do every time is like you just find the verb like am, some, a, vi, you know, and you just add ne before and pas after to build the negative sentence. Je n'habite pas à Paris. Okay? I let you do it yourself. Here's the correction. A. Je n'aime pas la musique. Je n'aime pas la musique. I don't like music. Which is very sad, I think. Very sad thing to say. Tu n'habites pas en France. Tu n'habites pas en France. You don't live in France. Tu ne parles pas chinois. Tu ne parles pas chinois. You don't speak Chinese. Il n'est pas cubain. Il n'est pas cubain. He is not Cuban. Elle n'est pas chanteuse. Elle n'est pas chanteuse. She is not a singer. Et le deuxième exercice. Je n'aime pas le sport. I don't like sport. Nous ne sommes pas belges. We are not Belgium. Paul n'a pas le numéro de Marie. Paul doesn't have Mary's phone number. Je ne vis pas à Hong Kong. I don't live in Hong Kong. Elle n'est pas chanteuse. Elle n'est pas chanteuse. She is not a singer. Vocabulaire. Les pays et nationalités. L'identité. Les noms de pays et les nationalités. So for each of them, I will start by reading the name of the country, then the nationality male, and then the nationality female. Okay? Je vais commencer par lire le nom du pays, puis la nationalité masculine et la nationalité féminine. L'Algérie, algérien, algérienne. L'Allemagne, allemand, allemande. L'Argentine, argentin, argentine. La Belgique, belge. Le Brésil, brésilien, brésilienne. Le Canada, canadien, canadienne. La Chine, chinois, chinoise. La Colombie, colombien, colombienne. Les Comores, comorien, comorienne. L'Espagne, espagnol, espagnol. Les États-Unis, américain, américaine. La France, français, française. L'Inde, indien, indienne. L'Italie, italien, italienne. Le Mali, malien, malienne. Le Maroc, marocain, marocaine. Le Mexique, mexicain, mexicaine. Le Niger, nigérien, nigérienne. La Pologne, polonais, polonaise. La Russie, russe. Le Sénégal, sénégalais, sénégalaise. La Suisse, suisse. La Tunisie, tunisien, tunisienne. Le Vietnam, vietnamien, vietnamienne. Observez les photos et retrouvez les pays. So take a look at the picture and find the country. Okay, this is not an exercise about French, but about geography. So let's say first one should be la Russie, le Vietnam, la France, l'Inde, and those two, I'm afraid to make a mistake, so I won't tell them, but what's important is that you know this vocabulary. Les éléments de l'identité. Le nom, le prénom, name, first name, la date de naissance, so the date of birth, le lieu de naissance, the place of birth, le pays, la ville. Donc, complétez la carte d'identité française avec les mots à, prénom, né le et nom. Okay? So this is how the official ID is in France. Okay? Donc, le premier ici, c'est nom. Okay? Nom, because it's the name. Ensuite, prénom. Ici, prénom, the first name. Sexe, F is for féminin. If it was a guy, it would be a M for masculin, like female and male, ok? Ici, né le, yeah, ok. Né le. So, born on le 20 octobre 1988, ok? Et ici, A, because here is the city where you are born, ok? Donc, né le 20 octobre 1988 à Mulhouse. Mulhouse is the name of a city. Les coordonnées. L'adresse mail. Le mail, so email address. L'indicatif du pays, the country code. Le numéro de téléphone, phone number. Le téléphone fixe, le portable, so landline, cell phone. Okay? Au fait, by the way, au fait, en France et au Québec, on doit dire courriel, mais en France, on dit souvent mail. So, usually in France and in Quebec, we're supposed to say courriel, which is the literal French translation of email, but most of the time we just say mail, basically, okay? Le plus souvent, en France, on dit mail. Les nombres de 70 à 100, ok? Les nombres de 70 à 100. 70, 71, 72, 79, 80, 81, 90, 91, 99, 100. Okay, maybe we can make a small exercise very quickly so you can practice. For example, how would you say this number here? Comment tu dirais celui-là et comment tu dirais celui-là? Donc, 78, 85 et 92. Au fait, en Suisse et en Belgique, on dit 70 et 90. En Suisse, on dit 80. So this is to tell you that there are some pronunciation differences for the numbers between the French that is spoken in Switzerland and in Belgium. So in France, we say 70, and Switzerland and Belgium, they will say 70, okay? But here you want to sound French and not Belgian, so you will say 70, okay? Maintenant, écoutez et écrivez les numéros de téléphone. So listen to the phone number and write them down.
Page 29. Vocabulaire. Exercice 3. A.
07 78 25 34 92.
B.
00 33 1 58 23 61 85.
C.
05 85 50 91 78.
Okay, you can listen to it again if you need. One of the things that is interesting is the second one. He says 00, 33, and then just 1. He doesn't say 01, he say 1. Why is it like this? Because sometimes, if you want, you can say 00 to say plus. It's the same. Normally, the country code for France is 33. So you start phone numbers by plus 33. Then, for example, if my phone number is 06, then if you put plus 33 in the beginning, you're supposed to remove the 0 here, okay? So this one, he says 0033, which means plus 33, and then 1, 58, etc. So if he was in France, he would just simply say 01, 58, etc. It's the same. Phonétique, les groupes rythmiques et l'accent tonique. So now we're talking about pronunciation. Échauffement. Écoutez et observez les phrases. Il y a combien de groupes rythmiques? So a way to translate group rythmique would be like a group of rhythm, basically, like a part of the sentence that makes up for like one rhythm, okay? Donc écoutez et observez les phrases. Listen to the sentences.
Page 30. Phonétique. Les groupes rythmiques et l'accent tonique. Exercice 1A. A.
J'habite en Pologne. Je parle anglais.
B.
Nous sommes brésiliens. Nous parlons portugais.
C.
Elle est française. Elle a 30 ans. Elle parle espagnol. Elle est journaliste.
Donc ici, c'est extrêmement facile. Here is extremely easy. Parce qu'ils mettent carrément une virgule à chaque fois. They go all the way to put a comma in between every rhythm group, ok? Entre chaque groupe rythmique. Donc, j'habite en Pologne. Je parle anglais. Nous sommes brésiliens. Nous parlons portugais. Okay, you see every time there's a comma in between. So, which means that when you are learning French, okay, if you're like a native French speaker or if you've been living in France for a long time or you speak very good French, you don't really have to really make these breaks so obvious. But this is how the language is built. There are some small breaks of rhythm in between group of words, okay? Donc, j'habite en Pologne, je parle anglais. Nous sommes brésiliens, nous parlons portugais. Elle est française, elle a 30 ans, elle parle espagnol, elle est journaliste. Okay? Here I try to speak a bit faster, but you see there's still like this small break. When you are a beginner in learning the language, you should really make obvious breaks to learn more naturally the rhythm of the language. Okay? Maintenant, écoutez et observez la phrase. Où est placé l'accent? So listen to the sentence. Where is the tone? Okay, here is also easy because they put it in bold letters. Okay, so listen to the tone.
Page 30. Exercice 1B.
Je m'appelle Arthur. Je suis journaliste. J'habite en Russie. Je parle français.
So here you can see that they insist at the end of each group, okay, of rhythm. And on top of this, they do what I told you earlier with the tone. So the tone goes up at the end of every group and it goes down at the last one. Donc, je m'appelle Arthur, je suis journaliste, j'habite en Russie, je parle français. Okay. Au fait, en phonétique, une information s'appelle un groupe rythmique. So when studying pronunciation, phonetic, one information is called, so un groupe rythmique, so like a group of rhythm, basically, a rhythmical group maybe. It's not so important. Choisissez la bonne réponse. Pick the right answer. Choisissez la bonne réponse. Il y a un ou plusieurs groupes rythmiques dans une phrase. Il y a une petite pause entre chaque groupe rythmique. Il y a un accent tonique sur chaque groupe rythmique. L'accent tonique est toujours au début, à la fin du groupe rythmique sur la dernière syllabe du mot. Exemple, Hans est allemand, il a 40 ans, il aime le tennis. Donc, il y a un ou plusieurs groupes rythmiques dans une phrase. In one sentence, dans une phrase, in one sentence, there is one or many groupes rythmiques. Okay, which is true, obviously. Il y a une petite pause entre chaque groupe rythmique. There is a small break in between every groupe rythmique. Il y a un accent tonique, so like a specific tone accent, sur chaque groupe rythmique, on every groupe rythmique. L'accent tonique est toujours au début ou à la fin du groupe rythmique sur la dernière syllabe du dernier mot. Donc, l'accent tonique, the tone, the intonation, is always at the beginning or at the end of the group rythmique. Obviously, it's at the end of the group rythmique. Par exemple, Hans est allemand, il a 40 ans, il aime le tennis. Okay. Entraînement. Écoutez les présentations. Il y a combien de groupes rythmiques? So you listen to the sentences and you say how many group rhythmic they are, okay? Let's go.
Page 30. Exercice 3. A.
Je m'appelle Dioké. Je suis malien. J'aime la peinture.
I will pause it in between each sentence to give the answer, okay? But you can listen to it again at home. I think it's very obvious, c'est très facile. There are 3 group rhythmic. Je m'appelle Dioké. Je suis malien. J'aime la peinture. And in between each of them, you have this small break.
B.
Elle s'appelle Carole Dupré.
There's only one here. Elle s'appelle Carole Dupré.
C.
Vous parlez anglais?
Vous parlez anglais? Still only one here.
D. J'ai 23 ans. Je parle chinois. J'aime la lecture.
Very easy here is the same as the first sentence. J'ai 23 ans. Je parle chinois. J'aime la lecture. So 3, the small break in between each of them. Okay? Now, each of the sentences from what we saw in Unit 0 and what we saw earlier today, you should be able to understand it, okay? So you can pause here, and if you're not able to understand all of them, then you can go back, study what we saw before. Je m'appelle Dioké. Je suis malien. J'aime la peinture. My name is Dioké. I'm from Mali. I like painting. Elle s'appelle Carole Dupré. Her name is Carole Dupré. Vous parlez anglais? Do you speak English? J'ai 23 ans. Je parle chinois. J'aime la lecture. I am 23 years old. I speak Chinese and I like reading. Ok les amis, on arrive à la dernière partie de cette unité. We are reaching the last part of this unit. Donc l'essentiel, which is basically the most important to remember. Okay, these are 3 small exercises. I will not go in detail in the exercises because these are all things that we did earlier, but I will give you the answer and read the sentences, okay? Every time I read the sentences, I'm expecting you to also read it at home, okay? Premier exercice. Les articles définis. Complétés avec le, la, l'apostrophe ou les. Okay, you already know what to do. Les prépositions devant les noms de pays et de villes. Complétés avec a, o avec un X et en. Same, you already know what to do. Les loisirs et les noms de pays. Trouvez l'intrus. So here you have a list of 4 words and you're supposed to find the one that is not the same as the other, like the one that doesn't match so well with the others. Okay? Let's go. Johanna aime la danse. Vous aimez la France? Je n'aime pas le chocolat. Elena aime l'Italie et les Philippines. Tu aimes la lecture? Je suis suisse et j'habite en Pologne. Je suis malien. Je suis né à Bamako. Oui, j'habite à Rabat. Je suis marocaine. Je vis au Canada. Je travaille aux États-Unis. Le tennis, la natation, l'athlétisme, la lecture. Donc, intrus means like the black sheep, okay? The one that doesn't belong here. Ici, l'intrus, c'est la lecture, okay? La lecture. Because tennis, natation et athlétisme, ce sont des sports. These are sports. Lecture is not a sport. So, la lecture. B. La musique, le mail, la peinture, le cinéma. Ici, l'intrus, c'est le mail. Le mail. Because musique, peinture et cinéma, ce sont des arts. These are like artistic activities. Mail is like an email address. Has nothing to do here. C. Le Niger, la France, le Mali, le Sénégal. Ici, l'intrus, c'est la France, so France, parce que le Niger, le Mali et le Sénégal, these are all African countries, okay, and France is European country, so doesn't belong here. Last exercise, l'identité. Complétez la fiche de présentation avec plus 33, 1, 25, 30, 71, 72, 43 ans, Dujardin, français, Jean, jdujardin@cinema.fr. Donc, à partir de ces informations, tu es censé retrouver laquelle est le nom, le prénom, l'âge, la nationalité, l'adresse email et le numéro de téléphone. Here's the answer. Donc, le nom du jardin, prénom Jean, son âge, c'est 43 ans, il est français, son adresse email, c'est jdujardin@cinema.fr et son numéro de téléphone, c'est le +33 1 25 35 71 72. Okay, very last activity. Atelier means something like workshop. Okay, so these are workshops to do in class, but we cannot do them together because to do them you need to be like in classroom or maybe with other students, with your friends, or to have an actual one-on-one conversation with your teacher. This kind of thing we can do if we do a class together. So on my website you can book the online class together. I would be really happy to see you, but I still put it here just to show that normally at the end of each unit in the textbook, you have a small workshop like this. Ok les amis, c'était long, mais on a terminé. Ok my friends, it was a bit long, but finally it's done. So we have finished the whole unit 1, okay? Later in the future, we will see unit 2 together. Anyway, we're going to see every unit of the book together. So be sure to tag along with me. I hope this video can be helpful to some of you to study French and to improve your level or even to start and everything, okay? Don't forget, you can check my website to schedule a private class with me, okay? Or even like a free call to see together what are your objectives, blah, 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 okay? You get the idea. Good luck to everyone for learning French. Good luck to some of you who may have some exam coming up, this kind of stuff, okay? Bisous à tous et à la prochaine.